the game of the day, that is for sure, between Spain and France. A repeat of the semi-finals of the Euros last year. Went head-to-head in Stuttgart in the Nations League for a spot in the final against Portugal. And it was an absolutely insane match of football. Spain leading 5-1 in the 67th minute. And they were just cruising. You thought it was going to be an easy victory for the Spaniards once again against France. But France came roaring back. They scored another 3 goals. And Spain just about managed to hold on. And I say just about because it did look like France might score an equaliser, winning 5-4. I mean, we're not too far removed, are we, from the Champions League final? There's plenty of players on the pitch who were involved in that game. You mentioned fatigue there, the fact that there just simply isn't a break in world football these days from club football to international football. But that was certainly a great advert for the game, wasn't it?
Listen, I'm going to put this straight as I possibly can be. That, to me, was a game of players who were trying their best but couldn't provide their best. There was entertainment value from both sides of the field. There was poor performances, certainly individual poor performances, team poor performances, positional play poor performances in the direction of France. I mean, I thought in the first half, especially the first hour of that game in front of goal, they were poor. Defensively, they were awful for the whole game. Spain just switched off and allowed France back into the game. But, I mean, it was a wild affair. And this is what to be expected after a long, grueling, competitive season where your domestic season is long. You get rarely a break domestically. You've got cup competition to deal with. Then European competition has been extended now, so you're playing more games at that elite level. And then, by the way, there's no break for you because there's a FIFA Club World Cup. For the majority of these players, they'll have to do that for their club team. So what we witnessed out there was a tired, fatigued performance and yet a willingness to try and go and win a trophy for your nation. So the performances from both teams wasn't exceptional. It was by far one of the poorest performances from both teams that I've seen for a long time. And France conceding 5 goals? They haven't done that since 1969 against the English. And I hate bringing up England on this show. So congratulations to Spain for obviously getting the job done. And they did just enough in the end. But it's hard not to believe that they switched off at some point in this game and sort of rested a little bit more.
We'll talk a bit more about Spain in a second, but we'll focus on France to start with because we wondered what side Didier Deschamps would go for, whether or not the likes of Dembélé, Doué, those players who'd played in the Champions League final not long before this game would be featuring. They did start, as we showed you, the starting lineup there, but it's almost a bit of a curse now against Spain for France. No matter what they do, they can't seem to quite find a way to beat them.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, go back to the Olympics as well. There was something so recently that maybe hurt the French and an opportunity for them to put out a strong starting 11 to try and get to the final. And it was a good 11. Obviously, Doué was unbelievable, as was Dembélé in that Champions League final. But the backline is where the biggest problems have been for France, obviously trying to get healthy and trying to maybe maintain your top performance along that backline. They went with Hernandez, Longley, who was awful on the night tonight. Konate wasn't much better in that centre-back position alongside him. Kalulu was terrible as well. And then Magnan, I mean, I thought he was poor in a couple of the goals. He should have done so much better. So there's no doubt that defensively France were really poor. But I'm going to throw this out there. It's not just about the defence, okay? It's about what happens offensively. And I thought France, going forward, they created so many opportunities in this game. And in the first, 60 minutes until the goal started rolling for them, 70 minutes, obviously, in the closing stages, they scored a barrel load. But they just missed so many clear chances. They kept on heading at goal and so close to Unai Simon, who was excellent for Spain, but so many you would expect him to save. I thought they were missing that finishing touch for a large portion of this game, and then all of a sudden it started to happen for them. But this France team have got a lot of problems right now, and I don't know if you can read too much into this game, Adam. This is where I'm going with what I'm trying to say, and this is why I'm energetically passionate about this. These players are playing far too many games. At the end of the day, the quality of product is going to suffer. It wasn't much quality in that game. We saw goals, yes, but we also saw a lack of real desire from players. Defensively and in midfield, these players are running on nothing. They've got nothing left to give, and that's the performance you get. It was like a friendly game in my regard. Players going out there to just play football. Have fun, play football. If you win, you win. If you don't win, whatever, we move on. But I just think it was Spain who had that quality the most in at the earliest point in the season, in the game, obviously, to get that such an advantage that was just far too much for France to come back into it, and they almost did.
Let's talk a bit about Didier Deschamps, because obviously with his success with the national side, he earned the right to take them to another World Cup. But are you a little bit surprised that he's been given that opportunity? Do you think the time was right, perhaps, to make a change with a year to go, to the World Cup just to bring someone fresh in? I mean, you've got Zinedine Zidane, so many other big French players waiting in the wings for their opportunity to manage this national side.
Yeah.
And Didier Deschamps, for all of his qualities and what he's done with this team, he is quite a defensive coach. And when you've got so much attacking talent, is he the guy to get the best out of this team?
No, I still think he's done a great job for him. I mean, he's over 168 games, something like that, and he's won over 107 games for the national team, and obviously been very, very successful on the international stage when it comes to winning major tournaments, and this no different. Obviously a competition they've won before. I'm really excited for him regardless, because yes, you normally would see that rotation, that change, a younger coach coming in and maybe grabbing some sort of new momentum going forward into major competition, but we're so compact with the scheduling that there's not much time to get this group together, right? Let's put it into perspective. You've got all of your players who are spread around, obviously, European football right now, and the majority of them, and they're all asked to play so many games. So the time you have on the training ground is limited, if any. So if a new manager did come in and you didn't re-sign Deschamps, he's not going to have too much time. Obviously, there are some nations out there who are struggling with that right now, having momentum going into a major competition. France still have enough to be able to compete in 26 to win it. They clearly have, obviously, individual talent. We know that. And I think as a team, when you recognise some of the youngsters, I thought Cherki, when he came on the field, obviously with the assist and the goal that he got in this game, he shone bright as well. They've got young players that they can influx into this group. Thierry Henry's Olympic side were excellent. I thought they were very, very good. But again, they also missed at that final hurdle against Spain in the Olympics last summer. But there's a number of players from that group who have already pushed themselves into prime position where Deschamps understands, knows where each player is going to be able to fit into his system and how to get them to fit in as quickly as possible so that they can be competitive. This one, I'm not reading too much into it. I really am. I know they're disappointed that they're not going to the final, but at the end of the day, these players are running on empty right now, and you got that type of a performance for them for the majority of this match.
Yeah, the French players are probably glad for a bit of a break. They'll be straight on the plane down to Saint-Tropez and just chilling out with
hiring out your villa, mate,
and the rest of them. When we focus on Spain, I think when you look at the official world rankings, Argentina are world #1 at the moment. But do you think that Spain are potentially the best team in the world right now?
I wouldn't say they're the best team in the world. They're certainly competitive. Again, we didn't see the best Spain in this performance at all. I mean, they were vulnerable. They were open. They left themselves exposed to far too many shots in this matchup. I mean, the amount of shots that France had in this game was absolutely insane. They took 24 shots. They had 9 on target. That's not, in my personal opinion, the best Spain that we've seen in recent years, but they're on an unbelievable run right now. I think it's 19 games now they're unbeaten, and they have got youth at their exposure right now. The average age of this starting 11 that went out there was 25, and of course they could have scored more goals. I mean, Spain realistically could have had 7 or 8 goals in this game, and they probably should have had 7 or 8 goals in this game. They'll have to settle for the 5 that they went through with. But they're a dangerous team, and I think the influx of young players who have come through, obviously domestically with Barcelona most recently, it's been unbelievable to watch how quickly they've come to the forefront. And then you've got one of the best players in the world right now, Lamine Yamal, who's running the show for them right now. The 17-year-old kid is absolutely dominating football. Pedri was excellent again, don't get me wrong, but Lamine Yamal right now in this type of form, there's no better player in world football than him right now. He entertains us at no end. The goals that he is scoring, the assists that he is providing, the entertainment off the ball, the fact that he actually picks up ball and looking for nutmegs in the middle of the field. I mean, this guy's just gone through a grueling season. He's still 17 years old. He's played over 100 games for Barcelona. He's played over 20 games for his national team now, and yet he's still absolutely banging in the goal. 6 goals, 8 assists, obviously, in 20 appearances is unreal. But he is just one shining bright star right now for this unbelievable, talented group of players that are, in my personal opinion, not quite there just yet to be called the best in the world. But who else is competing with them right now?
And he linked up really well with Nico Williams. You can see there from that graphic. 27 caps, 6 goals and 7 assists for Nico Williams. He's putting up great numbers for the Spanish side, and
yes.
I think as they build towards the World Cup next year, he's a guy who's going to be very much at the forefront of that team going forward.
Yeah.
A lot of the discussion coming into this game was the Ballon d'Or battle, Ousmane Dembélé on one side of the pitch for France and then Lamine Yamal at the other end for Spain. But from what you're saying there, it's only one winner in terms of Yamal.
Well, I think Ousmane Dembélé obviously scored a number of goals in 2025 that's caught our attention. Nobody expected that, and I think his season has also just blown us away with how how fierce he's been in front of goal creation, and obviously the leadership quality that he's shown, in my personal opinion, has taken his own personal game to the next level. It was similar to the product that we saw from Ousmane Dembélé at Borussia Dortmund before he made that 100 million move to Barcelona, and it didn't quite work out for him. But he's still a talented player that will, I think, be the favourite still. because Lamine Yamal had at one point a dip in the season, and yet the statistics in 2025 are still good. I still want to see more, and I think maybe I'm crazy from asking for more from Lamine Yamal. Statistically, I want more goals and I want more assists because they're clearly out there for him. But when he goes into a match like this at 17 years old, after coming off what he has had, a ridiculously grueling campaign where he clearly wants to play every single game, at this moment in time, right now, he's the best player in the world. He's the most entertaining player in the world. And at 17 years old, we should be considering ourselves incredibly lucky that we're getting to watch this player in our lifetime, because I'm starting to get that feeling again. We've obviously witnessed the Lionel Messis and the Cristiano Ronaldos in our lifetime. How lucky are we? This kid's the next one. He's the next generation of non-stop true world-class talent.